This was a great example of JCRC jumping into action. Our goal was to address this through education, through litigation, and through legislation. So the first thing that we did is that we reached out to the Muslim community where we knew there was a natural alliance because of this shared ritual in our communities. And then we reached out to our friends in the Catholic and Christian communities and so many other traditions because we knew that our interfaith friends understand that religious freedom and the right to practice our religion is not just for minority populations like the Jewish community, but it's important for all of our traditions. And so it was really exciting to have a couple hundred allies endorsing this effort. And if folks are interested, I can tell you someday, some of the fun kind of details about how we handled this. But I'll tell you quickly that we won 3 times. We won because we first filed a lawsuit to have this ballot measure removed from the ballot, and we won our lawsuit. But I'll share with you here as friends that we actually didn't think we were going to win. And so we needed to prepare for the likelihood that this was going to remain on the ballot. And we needed voters to understand why this was such a serious issue. And so we initiated a voter education campaign and really mobilized the interfaith community to help us with that, which was very exciting. And the polling all showed that we would win if it had remained on the ballot. And then the third way is that we got legislation passed by in Sacramento and signed by the governor that would prevent any municipality from ever again putting an anti-circumcision measure on a municipal ballot. But this was part of I think an illustration of the role that JCRC plays both for the Jewish community but also the unique way in which we work with elected officials and to mobilize the interfaith community as well for common cause. A second story I thought I'd share with you is our work around something called Invest in Peace. And I brought just a few of these with me, and I'd be happy to leave them behind so that you can take a look at it, or you can go to our website, investinpeace.org. We've been very concerned in the Jewish community that the conversation around Israel and the Bay Area has become very extreme, frankly very hateful, and very often very extreme in a way that leaves the Jewish community feeling vulnerable. And our concern about this is that we don't think that discourse is actually all that reflective of Bay Area values. It's certainly not reflective of the values of the interfaith communities that believe in coexistence, in shared future, in peace, in mutual recognition. And we felt that we needed to do something in order to demonstrate that our community's value, the Jewish community's values, which are about shared future and coexistence, is something that we thought we could amplify in the Bay Area that would more appropriately reflect Bay Area values. So we came up with this idea. It's called Invest in Peace, and we herald Palestinian and Israeli peacemakers, people on the ground. You can see some of their stories in here. And these are folks who are very courageously trying to shift facts on the ground. They are business leaders and NGO leaders who are doing real work, really on the ground, to advance a shared future. And we wanted to bring their stories to the Bay Area to help amplify these voices and these perspectives that we don't often hear in the Bay Area. And we have today over 200 folks who are helping endorse this and amplify this message, and who are our partners when we bring these Palestinian and Israeli peacemakers to the Bay Area to speak in churches and around the community. So another example of our work. I think the third area that I want to mention too is just our solidarity and mutual support work. And I don't need to tell all of you that. I think you know well what mutual support and solidarity looks like. And especially I think in recent weeks, we've all seen multiple examples of this. When there's been a gurdwara in the Bay Area that's been attacked, or a mosque that gets hate mail or hateful phone calls. These are moments when the Jewish community and JCRC reach out to those communities, not only with just messages of condolence or solidarity, whenever the moment requires, but also with real help. So for example, in the Jewish community, as you can imagine, having security expertise for the community has been important for a very long time. And we realized that having a security director in our community is something that we can also share with other communities. So we've had the Jewish community security guru go and spend time with the Muslim community, for example, in the Bay Area to help provide free consultation and support. And certainly I think, we have felt the support and the solidarity back, and in the last 3 weeks, we've just been absolutely inundated from our partners and other faith communities, other churches and other houses of worship who've reached out to us to express condolences. All across the Bay Area 2.5 weeks ago, there were vigils in synagogues, and every synagogue opened its doors for Shabbat services to the interfaith community, and everybody showed up together. And we think that those moments of support and mutual aid are part of the healing in our community. So we're really pleased to be involved in that. There are specific ways in which we work with other communities on really specific issues. For example, we've been working with Catholic Charities and the Department of Elections on doing voter access work. We've done a lot of work with the Catholic community on immigrants' rights work. And these days, a lot of GCRC's work is really focused, if I had to name one specific issue, I'd say on democracy building efforts, because we, again, know how critical it is that we have a healthy and robust democracy for all of our communities to thrive. So you'll be hearing, I hope, we'll share with all of you some of those efforts, and we would welcome all of you participating with some of those efforts going forward. I think the last thing I want to say, just in closing, is that we have been so thrilled to be involved with this coalition from the very beginning, and so proud to have had a small part to play in its initiation and the work that it continues to do. And I'm really, really honored and pleased to tell all of you that we're going to be honoring the coalition at our annual gala this year. And it'll be on February 27th. It's a Wednesday evening. And it's an incredibly inspiring and uplifting evening event. And I hope that you'll all join us there. You'll be hearing a lot more details about it going forward. It will be a wonderful opportunity for us to herald the work that you are all doing. And the really inspiring model of friendship that you all create. Thank you.
Can you say a little bit more about what's going to happen on February 27th? There's, and that there will be some of you that are going to be asked to participate prior to that date. So can you say more?
Sure. So Wednesday, February 27th, the event is going to be in San Francisco at the Veterans Building. Some of you may have been to it's also called the War Memorial / Veterans Building, and you've also probably heard the name the Green Room, which is the upstairs room. It's a part of City Hall. It has 4 names, this one place, but it's across the street from City Hall. And it'll be an evening celebration that will include dinner, and then which is kind of standing and a social time, and then we'll be in a theater for presentations. There will be a dessert reception. But the most exciting components of the evening, I think, are what happens in that theater, where we tell the stories of our 3 honorees, of which the Peninsula Multi-Faith Coalition is one of our honorees this year. We're also honoring an individual who has been a tremendous bridge builder and a real leader in the Jewish community. And then the 3rd honoree is another partnership, another collaboration between a Jewish summer camp which was burned to the ground, and the California State University Maritime, which opened its doors and became home for this summer camp. And there's been an incredible friendship that was formed between these two institutions, so that'll be the third honoring. That evening, when we honor this coalition, there will be, in this theater, there will be a short film that's shown that tells the history of the coalition and its founding. The film will talk about the work that you each do through the coalition, including with Martin Luther King Jr. Day and the incredible community service work that you're doing and leading your communities and your constituents and congregants to do. And part of the story that I'm hoping that we'll tell and be able to shine a light on is the incredible friendships that have been formed along the way, which we believe, is really part of the impact as well. And I know that there have been important and meaningful relationships that have been catalyzed by, all of this work that you've all done. We're going to have Connie and Christy and Dick, there to help receive the award on behalf of the coalition. We'll be reaching out to some of you, to ask you to talk with us a bit more about, maybe on film about the event. You'll see, photos of the work that you've all been doing and some of the video footage of some of the day, the celebrations you've been doing. So we're really looking forward to it.
Great, thank you.
Grassroots. So we do have an organization based on the East Coast, but rather than all of us 120 JCRCs around the country taking direction from them, we tell them what to do. So just like we go through that consensus building process here in this community to find agreement on the issues of the day, so too do the other JCRCs all around the country do that, and we're all totally autonomous of one another, separate 501c3s. But then we get together once a year and we direct our national organization. We form consensus on the national level, and then with that, empower that national staff to go and do our advocacy work.
Is there a range for this one?
A range.
On the map.
Oh, yeah. So we cover 7 Bay Area counties. We cover Alameda and Contra Costa counties. We're in Sonoma, San Francisco, the peninsula. And then somewhere around Mountain View, is that right, Sarah?
Yeah, like it's a little fuzzy kind of where it ends and where there's another JCRC in the Silicon Valley. Politically, I always say it's where Jerry Hill's district ends, or where Joe Simidian's district in Santa Clara ends. But it's sort of northern Santa Clara County we have, and then the rest of, San Jose is Silicon Valley, but
and we're good
Sunnyvale, Los Altos Hills, Mountain View, Palo Alto, those cities I'd say are lumped in with us. We have a very cooperative relationship, so.
Abby, I'd just like to thank you for all you do for us. Because without you, I don't think we'd be here. Only a few of us know how supportive you are. And then you've alluded to the consensus building, but until you've actually been in that room, which I was fortunate to be a few times, where every word was wordsmithed until we got a consensus. And believe me, that took a lot of effort and a lot of understanding between people. And that inspired me to do some work here. And the concept of friendship, I know, has been instilled in this fellow over here, because all he says is, I'm doing this to make friends. Now I know where he gets it from. And we're so happy to be connected with you. And to remember that we're all one family. Thank you.
Amen. We would like to have as many liaisons and people that are members of your faith houses at the February event. And I wanted to ask some questions about this. Is that we'd like to have as many of you there as possible. that Dick and Christy and I will accept the award for the entire coalition.